My sister and I were reborn in a world of shifters. The primal god gave us a choice. Point 1. Become a she-shifter, blessed with immense strength and a powerful, muscular form. Point 2. Become a sacred maiden, gifted with incredible fertility and a soft, alluring body. In my first life, my sister chose to be a she-shifter to survive. I became the weak, tempting sacred maiden. Her body, hulking and ape-like, was scorned by the tribe. She was assigned 3 crippled, broken males, but my delicate frame made me the treasured prize of the 3 strongest, most handsome shifters in the tribe. They became the kings of the primal forest, and I, their divine queen, was worshipped by all. My sister went mad with jealousy. When no one was looking, she dragged me into a poison bog, determined to take me down with her. When I opened my eyes again, we were back at the moment of the choice. This time, my sister, Kira, lunged forward, claiming the role of sacred maiden for herself. It's my turn to be the queen, sister. And since I feel so sorry for you, you can have those 3 useless, broken males. I had to suppress a surge of pure joy. What was so great about being locked away, used only for your womb, in this primitive world? Strength is everything. I opened my eyes, the burning sensation of the poison still seeming to cling to my skin. Your mortal lives have ended, but your souls have been brought here by the primal god. Before you lie 2 paths. 1. To be a powerful she-shifter of this world. The other, a sacred maiden. Have you decided who will be who? The primal god's voice boomed, echoing with immense authority. We looked down at the sprawling, dense jungle below, the continent that was home to the shifters. The first time we saw this world, my sister Kira and I were filled with a deep, primal terror. The roars of unseen beasts were a constant reminder that this was a land of survival of the fittest. That was why Kira had instantly chosen to be a she-shifter. A cute catgirl look could be fun, she'd mused smugly, imagining some adorable version of herself. The primal god had explained that females were incredibly rare on this continent. A single female could have multiple mates. To Kira, it sounded like the life of an empress. She shoved me towards the shifters, a cruel smile on her face. You lived my life in the human world for 20 years, sister. You're not cut out for hardship. Let these powerful males take good care of you. After all, only the strong survive here. I ignored her bitter taunts and walked straight toward the 3 magnificent beasts. Kira was right about one thing. In this world, power was supreme. Later, during the mating ceremony, those 3 ferocious beasts shifted into devastatingly handsome men who pampered and protected me. Kira, on the other hand, was stuck with 3 broken males. Even worse, neither she nor her mates could shift into human form. They were trapped as beasts. Kira was consumed by jealousy. Her words were laced with passive-aggressive venom. You're so lucky, sister. Look at them, willing to take human form just to be with you. You're so weak, yet they're completely loyal to you. I didn't answer her, my own thoughts dark and clouded. Even the weakest human possesses the power of intellect. Using my modern knowledge, I taught my mates how to make fire and hunt more effectively. I led their wild plains tribe to glory. It was true, they couldn't live without me, but she didn't understand the concept of a wolf in sheep's clothing. If they were truly loyal, they wouldn't have poisoned my throat to silence me, or sliced my tendons to keep me from ever leaving, all because they feared I would choose one of them as the ultimate king. They stole my freedom, turning me into their property. My gift of fertility became my curse, and I was reduced to being their personal broodmare. This time, before the primal god could even finish speaking, Kira rushed forward to claim the sacred maiden's path, unhesitatingly choosing the 3 shifters who were mine in our past life. Are you certain? The god asked, surprised by her haste to choose the weaker form. Once chosen, there is no turning back. I'm positive. I believe I can lead the tribe to prosperity. The god sighed and fused her soul with her new body. As she passed me, she couldn't resist swaying her sensual hips. I ignored her pathetic attempt at a provocation. When it was my turn, the god simply tapped my forehead. I felt a torrent of raw power explode through my veins. Kira stared at me, a mocking smile playing on her lips. That body suits you perfectly, sister. I could see my reflection in her eyes. I was a savage, ferocious beast, with no trace of beauty left. Now you have all the strength you could want, sister. You can have those 3 useless rejects. This time, the titles of Alpha Queen and Divine Maiden are all mine. I knew exactly what she was thinking. In her past life, her 3 mates couldn't shift. Not only that, they all had debilitating birth defects. They were even torn apart and killed by another tribe's shifters while trying to protect Kira during an attack. But I knew something she didn't. That kind of selfless loyalty was the rarest treasure in this world. Now that our fates are swapped, I won't let them die so tragically again. A thrill of joy shot through me as I felt the power coursing through my new body. Alpha Queen and Divine Maiden? Those are just pretty names for a glorified prisoner. If Kira wants them, she can have them. In this primitive world, strength is the only thing that matters, and this time, I will be the one who rules over all beasts. After the primal god assigned our roles, we were transported to the shifter continent. In her first life, Kira wanted supreme power and a harem of handsome men, but being unable to shift turned that dream to dust. She had despised her 3 mates and treated them horribly. Having been human for so long, she couldn't stand their bestial nature. She was lazy, lounging around the camp while others worked. Her 3 mates, already born with disadvantages and now suffering from her abuse, could never compete with the other shifters. They often failed to bring back any prey. Kira never missed a chance to berate them for their weakness. When she finally gathered enough power to shift, her malnourishment resulted in a squat, dark-skinned human form. Next to my pale, slender figure, she looked like an ape. She was filled with regret. But the tribe's law was absolute. You could only choose new mates if your current ones died, or if you became the alpha king yourself. When a rival tribe attacked their Clearwater tribe, she used herself as bait to lure her 3 mates into a trap set by the enemy. After they were killed, Kira immediately started trying to seduce other males. She set her sights on a slithery, handsome snakeshifter and an apeshifter, whose clan was the most human-like, but she was a fool. The snake shifters were notoriously promiscuous and cruel, and the ape shifters, their females were shared by the entire clan. She had chosen the two most despised clans on the continent. What awaited her was a torment worse than death. It wasn't until the new Alpha King was crowned that all shifters gathered for the sacred ceremony in the heart of the forest. There, Kira saw me, surrounded by my handsome mates, who treated me like a goddess, catering to my every whim. I was crowned the Alpha Queen, a position of immense honor. She went mad with jealousy. She tricked me, luring me to a poison bog deep in the jungle, and shoved me in. My tendons had already been cut. I was helpless to fight back. Alara, she hissed, her face twisted with rage. You stole my identity in the real world. You lived my life for 20 years. Why do you get to have everything I ever wanted here, too? You're a thief. Go to hell. As the poison consumed me, my mind drifted back to our past life. Kira was the long-lost heiress, the true daughter of the wealthy family that had adopted me. When they finally found her and brought her home, my adoptive parents, who had grown to love me, begged me to stay. I agreed, partly out of gratitude for the life they'd given me, and partly out of a deep-seated guilt towards Kira. It was the most foolish decision I ever made. There are a million ways to show gratitude, and I chose the one that would destroy me. Over time, my family's affection shifted entirely to Kira. When her grades weren't good enough, they forced me to give her my full-ride scholarship to our dream university. Kira even had them change my declared major to something useless. When she decided she liked my fiancé, they broke my engagement and handed my happiness to her on a silver platter. Even my brother, who had always doted on me, began to see me as a thief who had stolen his real sister's life. He stood by and watched every time Kira framed me for something she'd done. She told everyone that I had stolen her life. In their eyes, I was nothing but a fraud, but it was true that I had lived as the family's precious daughter for 20 years. They had raised me, and that was a debt I felt I had to repay. Now, that debt is paid in full. Even in this new life, I let her choose first. A small smile touched my lips. From this moment on, Kira and I owe each other nothing. You have received your new forms. Now, go to your designated territories. The primal god's voice echoed, and Kira and I fell into our new bodies. I came to just as the mating contracts were sealed. Kira swayed her hips, walking toward the three magnificent shifters who were now hers. Their eyes burned with raw possession as they looked at her. The other males in the tribe could only stare with envy. They stood no chance against Kira's new mates. She had claimed the tribe's strongest, a white tiger, a black lion, and a golden eagle. They were a vision of absolute power, and Kira was their beautiful, delicate prize. Behind me stood my own mates. A wolf with only one eye, an eagle that couldn't fly, and a seemingly harmless little cat. My new body was that of a white wolf. I flexed my claws, admiring their sharpness, and felt the power in my long, sharp teeth. Among wolf shifters, a white coat was a sign of nobility, but to the rest of the shifters, a powerful female like me was undesirable. Kira basked in the adoration of the crowd, her eyes filled with satisfaction. When the shifters looked at me, all I saw was disgust. That was why the previous owner of this body had been assigned the three most broken, unwanted males in the tribe. But Kira didn't understand a simple truth. Only your enemies truly want you to be weak. I looked at the three shifters behind me and led them away toward our new territory without a word. My calm demeanor seemed to make them nervous. They followed me timidly, their steps careful as if they were afraid of setting me off. When we arrived at our cave, I frowned. It was cold, damp, and dark. Not a fit place to live. Wait here. I'll be right back. Maybe it was the human part of me still lingering, but I couldn't stand the thought of sleeping in this grim, wet hold. I returned a short while later with a load of firewood and fresh prey, my heart pounding with exhilaration. The strength and speed of this new body were beyond anything I could have imagined. I was certain I was just as powerful as Kira's three prize-winning mates. As I entered the cave, I saw that it had been tidied up. The hard stone slab that served as a bed was now covered with soft, dry grass and animal pelts. There was even a small, delicate flower placed on the stone table. My three mates watched me, their expressions unreadable. I dropped the slaughtered animal in front of them. They swallowed hard, their eyes fixed on me, full of fear. Go on, eat. I'll have some later. I had no taste for raw meat and blood, so I built a small fire to the side. I tore off a piece of meat and began to roast it on a stick. They stared at me, their eyes wide with shock. I and their old tribe, even if they had managed to hunt something, they would never have been allowed the first bite. They were given scraps, leftovers, or rotting meat, never something this fresh. When they still didn't move, I tilted my head in confusion and nudged the cooked piece of meat toward them with my stick. Do you want it cooked? No, the one-eyed wolf said, his voice rough and complicated. You are our matriarch. You made the kill. We must wait for you to finish eating before we can have what you grant us. I shook my head. We don't do that here. I'll need your help to hunt from now on. My name is Alara. If you need anything from me, you can just ask. The three shifters stared at me, a strange light flickering in their eyes. I'm Kale, the one-eyed wolf said. These two are Rock and Ash. They can't speak yet, so if you need anything, you can just tell me. I didn't know if it was the hunt or just the strain of a new body, but a wave of exhaustion suddenly washed over me. I'm going to rest. If you're hungry, eat, and watch the fire if you can. With that, I found a dry spot in the cave, curled up, and fell into a deep sleep. I never saw it. The moment they were sure I was asleep, the gazes of Rock and Ash turned chillingly cold. They extended their claws, moving silently toward my throat. Just as their sharp claws were about to touch my fur, Kale threw himself in front of me, blocking their path. Kale, what are you doing? Rock hissed, his voice no longer silent, but a low, angry growl. Have you forgotten how she abandoned us in our last life? Move, Ash snarled. I want to tear this woman to pieces. If I had been awake, I would have realized the truth. They could speak perfectly fine. The one good eye of the wolf, Kale, glinted in the firelight, dark and dangerous. She isn't her.